Okay, there's a lot
anyway,
the problem is, Ben, there's a lot out there on the Internet now. It's so easy to put this kind of stuff out there and have people begin to chase their tails. It happens all the time.
Exactly. That's why you have to look for every bit of independent confirmation you can.
Now, when you get your information from your sources, you and I both know that you are certainly open to being used for disinformation purposes by people.
Sure, and if that happened, the thing is, you got to remember that I was a financial journalist for over 20 years. And for 20 years, people have been trying to get me to write stuff that would manipulate markets in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe I have a very powerful immunity to disinformation. And I do check things carefully. Mm-hmm. But if I have put out disinformation, and I have in the past, I've always issued a correction.
Well, you and I have talked about this, and I have, when you've asked, pointed you in directions which have led to some further clarification, and certainly in your view that has led to some of these corrections. That's true. And you're always open-minded, and you're always willing to listen, and that's much to your credit.
And the other thing you got to remember is that as a reporter, or as a journalist, I report what people say. So say if Obama says he's going to invade Iran, I write that Obama says he's going to invade Iran. And if he doesn't invade Iran, it wasn't, what I wrote wasn't wrong. It's just that he said it, but he didn't do it. So if I have sources that I know to be KGB or Mossad or whatever, and they tell me stuff, sometimes I put it out to see what sort of reaction that we get.
Well, I understand that.
Misinformation.
Yeah.
But it's a process, you know, and it's an ongoing thing. We're working on a puzzle here, and sometimes your pieces are missing.
Well, people do that. They will put out disinformation knowingly to try to pull in some of the culprits behind it and get. I understand that, and there's much more to it, of course. Now,
I was in the Philippines recently, and I met with a senior member of the Rothschild family, and a representative of the person who said they were a representative of the Chinese government reporting directly to Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me in advance what Obama would be doing and how he would get no money in China. And I confirmed, yes, came back empty-handed. The other thing they confirmed to me is that, yes, indeed, the Federal Reserve Board and the Bank of England sent gold-plated tungsten to China. It's saying it was gold. And the Chinese drilled holes in it, and they found out that it was tungsten. And now the Feds are saying, oh, my gosh, oh, geez, that was just stuff we kept for display purposes. We'll get you the real gold. Just wait a minute. And they're frantically trying to find gold, but nobody's going to sell them gold for their worthless dollars. And that is something I have confirmed from multiple direct sources. So there is a financial war going on, and it's also clear now that the people who are attacking the Fed also got a monopoly on the world's gold supply. So the crashing of your housing market and everything, that was part of an economic sabotage operation against the United States, that's for sure. And the goal was eventually to create the circumstances for a world government. This is for sure. But what's happened is that their plan is not working according to their plan. This much I can guarantee you is happening. And you'll be able to see it. What we're hearing now is that unless an agreement is reached to back the healthy dollars with gold, and then just eliminate all the derivatives dollars, just erase them, all the stuff that was created fraudulently, then the dollar will go up. But if not, then it'll crash to 6 cents in January or February. And right now, the Feds are frantically calling every day asking for gold, and they're being told no. And the Chinese are telling the Feds that we will not buy any more treasuries unless they're backed by gold. And the Japanese are also no longer buying U.S. treasuries.
Well, cooler heads prevail.
There's serious economic warfare going on.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay, back with Ben in just a couple minutes as we go into our final segment tonight on this Friday night, this weekend of Thanksgiving, American style. Every day should be Thanksgiving Day if you look at it properly. Right back. Okay, back with Ben Fulford in Tokyo.
in the last section, I want to tell you about the Black Dragon Society.
Right.
In World War II, the Japanese and the Chinese were joined in a secret alliance known as the Black Dragon Society. Now, China was split, okay, into two factions, but they believed the Nazis were going to win World War II, and they knew that Hitler wrote in Mein Kampf that he wanted to enslave and kill the non-white races, so they were preparing for a big final showdown. Well, when Japan lost the war, the society went to sleep. It was founded by a guy called Mitsuru Toyama. His grandson, Toyama Okisuke, has now revived it. And what it means is all the Japanese right-wingers, the people who were going around with sound trucks, the Japanese gangsters, were terrorizing politicians and journalists and killing them for the CIA here in Japan, no longer work for the CIA. And they are now actively fighting the New World Order. Now, I want people to understand that Asian triads and the Yakuza societies are not the same as crime gangs. What happens is you pay a membership fee, say $100 a month, and then you're offered protection.
Right.
And most of the people involved are just doing legitimate business, but they need they need to have their back covered in case they run into unsavory characters.
Got it.
And when there are, of course, criminals in these organizations too. And when there's an emergency, it's like the Chamber of Congress declaring an emergency. Then the gangsters and the unsavory types will obey the Chamber of Congress to fight for the greater good. But these organizations cannot be used for personal profit. And the Black Dragon Society is like a Western version of this group now, because we have members from MI6 and KGB, CIA, Vatican Bank, people like that, very high-level people.
Okay.
And the purpose of the society is very simple. End poverty, stop environmental destruction, world peace, and develop the forbidden technology for the benefit of humanity. And there are no obligations except to do things that you agree upon together. And you'll be provided with protection. That's all. But this is the group, one of the main groups that's fighting the New World Order worldwide, and we got them. We've got them on the ropes. I promise you that. I know it doesn't look that way from inside the United States. Things get worse and worse and worse, but we have to drain the swamp before we can flush out the swamp creatures, and that's what we're doing. And it's going to hurt the Americans for a while because they're not bowing out gracefully. They're dragging it out as long as they can, as far as they can, and they're not going to go easily into the night. That's what they keep telling us. But they are going. We're going to get them. It's too late now for them, to carry out their plans. Everything is blowing up in their faces.
Well, I'm all for you, Ben.
So,
I know that.
The latest I'm hearing, and it's not over till it's over, but January and February is when a lot of stuff's going to happen. And right now there are all sorts of high-level meetings all over the world. As you know, the latest G20 ended up in total chaos and acrimony.
Right.
There's total disorder among the Western governments right now, and chaos. They don't know what's going on. They are confused. They are dazed. And you can see this just by looking at their official communiques or whatever they're saying, just contradicting each other and flying back and forth on mysterious trips, all this nonsense. So it's going to be very, very interesting times, and I do recommend to everybody to have at least a week's supply of food available in case of some sort of
stop there. More than that.
Yeah, more than that, and hopefully there will be no civil war in the U.S. Hopefully this will happen nicely and politely, but they do have a large, SS-like mercenary force known as Blackwater, and they do have a lot of loyal flunkies, and so it's not going to be over until it's over. But I believe that most of the colonels and majors in the Pentagon are very, very angry right now with the U.S. government, and they know that these people have destroyed the United States economy, and they don't trust their own generals because most of them have been bribed, because if they get that high up, the chances are they're compromised. But there is a serious move in the Pentagon against these people now, and in the various agencies. That's why information is leaking. That's why stuff is being hacked and put on the net.
Right.
And that is why lots of people are, the people who are dying, like I latest count, 105 senior bankers have been killed or suicided.
What?
That's mostly the bad guys trying to cover their tracks.
Where's this? I didn't see this.
There are little items here and there. You got the head of Washington Pereira suddenly found dead. You have this other guy found in the bottom of his pool.
I've seen a few, but not 105.
Well, there's a list on the net, and each one is like appears as a small news item, you know, maybe one paragraph or two paragraphs. But add them up, and you're seeing a lot of bankers dying right now.